Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's 8:11 here in the West. Maybe 7:11 where you're at, but it's an 11. Ooh. For those who watch the 11s. Do you watch the 11s? I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Put that back up in there too. You can see that. Alrighty. Alrighty then. Solar wind right now is 431 kilometers a second. Picked up just a hair. Densities, proton density that is at about 3 protons per cubic meter. That's not a whole lot, man. We did have a M1 flare at 12:55 UT. Yep. There are 11 sunspot groups and the solar disk. Almost all of them are crackling with minor C-class solar flares. The fastest growing sunspot, 3546, appears to be the least stable and thus shows the greatest threat for more significant flares. So let's take a look. 3546. Dun 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 dun. Turn that off and go here. There we go. Yeah, there's a bunch of groups of sunspots, right? But this is the one down here that worries them. It may, kick one off. On the solar disk, it's not in the middle of us yet. And these are the ones that were worried before. I guess that's stabilized now. Yep. 46 right there. Green flash from Venus. They've heard of green flashes from the sun, but what about from Venus? Peter Rosen just saw one over Stockholm. He says, hey, on Monday morning, I woke up early to a beautiful view of Venus and moon rising in Stockholm skyline. Because of the extreme cold there was still persist over the southern Sweden, I got an unexpected bonus from the form of a rare green flash from Venus. Green flashes happen because Earth's low atmosphere acts like a prism, splitting white light into RGB colors. Yeah, red, green, blue, right? A low-hanging planet like Venus can turn into a miniature rainbow. A flash appears when unusually sharp temperature gradients in the air magnify one color more than another. In this case, it was green. Pretty cool, though. Yeah. Burp. And little green gashes, right? Yeah. Planetary K index is KP, 2.3. And there's no significant coronal holes in the disk, as you can see. A little tiny one right there, not a bunch. This is the bunch of crap right now that's heated up. This is a little booger right here that's unstable. These ones went stable. They were not, but now they are. I guess all of these messes are as well. Not seeing a whole lot come around the bend, except for maybe this one's got a nice. Anyway. Yep. We don't need to talk about that. Chance of an M flare is a 40% right now. X flare is only 5%. Mid-latitude geometric storms? Nah. And no high ones either. Today being the 10th of January, there's 4 rocks traveling in our zone of influence, which is basically 5 million miles and closer. And we checked those things out. And there's one that's about 71 feet across. Another one is 156 feet across. Another one is 60 feet across. Another one is 72 feet across, right? The 72 is about 4 lunar distances away, traveling at 7.9 kilometers a second, which is I want to say that's about let me go 7.9 divided by 1.6. About 5 miles an hour. 5 miles a second. Yeah. Thereabouts, right? There's the 156 feet across rock is about 18 lunar distances away from us. So 250,250 multiplied by 18. And that's about how far that is, right? And if I did the math again, 250, 250 multiplied by 18, about 4.5 million miles away. Yeah, it's a big one, but it's pretty far away. But it's traveling at 18.1 kilometers a second. Well, how fast is that, Slim? Well, we go 18 kilometers divided by 1.6. It's about 11 miles, 11 and a quarter miles, or 11 and a half miles every second. Faster than a speeding bullet. Faster than Superman. That's right. Faster than Superman. Gotta wonder. And the, what is that, 72-footer, it's traveling at 6.4 kilometers a second, or roughly 4.5 miles a second. And it's 12 lunar distances away. So that's what's out there. And today, in our sphere of influence, yeah. Let's see what else we have here. As I turned down that thing, that worked out pretty good. Let's look at the Aussies, what the Aussies have to say. This is our Bowflex, our magnetopause, right? And dynamic pressure is up a little bit. Standoff distance is still 12 to 14. Wind high 300s and the low 400s. Proton density stays where it is. But we did have a buffet of dynamic pressure, and then it dissipated today. Watch it from 7, 8, and it bounced up. It went up to 1.2, and then it's back down to the zip. Yeah. You gotta wonder about what the ground magnetics are saying on this. Yeah. Let's go ahead and look at what the ground magnetics are saying. When the atmosphere gets a little buffet, I kind of look at what's going on the surface. Oh, yeah, loads of it. Yeah, check it out. And it dissipates rather quickly. So late yesterday, or the last 6 hours, I think this thing runs about 6 hours long. Yeah, I see the Atlantic area is high on my list to watch. And down here in Sandwich Islands all the way up. In the east, yeah, you got to see Vanuatu and all the way to PNG. That area to watch. Now, I don't know what's happened earthquakes-wise in the last 6 hours, so we'll see. We'll compare notes, baby. Yeah. And here's this is the velocity of the wind. There's really nothing. Here's the density. As you can see, the proton density, when it's 0, it's more white, and when it gets darker blue, it's a little more. And you can see our magnetopause, or our Bowflex, as I call it, buffets it away from us, right? And you can see not much protons in our area, right? Our magnetopause and our atmosphere is buffeting it pretty well, right? Yeah, nothing to be too concerned of. Here's the dynamic pressure. Now, we did have a little pressure. I want to see how it is right here, and then it kind of frayed out. This means no pressure, and this is some, right? Looking at the side to side and the top to bottom, dusk to dawn, north to south. So this is the top to the bottom. This is side to side. Not a whole lot buffeting our planet right now from the sun. Now, we've noticed, I've noticed, there he is, he's 42, he's in the house. We've noticed that when the sun is chill, big things happen on the planet. When the sun goes wonky and goes really wonky, it takes a couple of days, but then the Earth responds. We've got a battery of sorts that is in our atmosphere that grabs the charges from the sun and holds them. And it's called a ring current. Well, that's what scientists call it, the ring current. When the ring current gets full, stuff starts to happen. So those are three different scenarios thus far that I can relay to you how the sun and watching the sun affects our planet and affects what we are all kind of worried about, which is earthquakes. I'm also worried about weather, and all the like. So it's like, hey, I don't want that to happen. And, right? Don't want nobody hurt. Yeah, we want to, be aware, be a early warning, so to speak. Let's go ahead and look at what's happening. X-rays for us here. Here's the LASCO 3. If we zoom in, there's the boomer. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looked like it popped behind us, though. Because maybe there's a little squeak out here. And primarily it's going out behind us and a little bit to the south. A little bit up there. All right, so we'll see. We'll see what they have to say. We just had an M1 flare here. You can see this is the M1. And then it died down. It's been bouncing up here. C4. And we're on the rise again at the moment. And if we looked at what this guy has to say here, solar, go to solar flares. Hi, buddy. Yeah, he's a good boy. And the M1.4 that we had, boom, baby. Just zoom in like this. You can see right here. Yep. And there's just not a whole lot going on. This is messed up here, right? Solar activity, solar flares, right? Real-time solar activity. Right? Yeah, he's a good boy. My kitty cat just jumped in here. Here's the far side, the back side of the sun. A couple little white spots out there. Solar activity in the past 2 hours, we're rising right now as C4. So if we took a look at the proton flux has dropped. So radiation has dropped. KP index is at 2 there. Let's go ahead and look at the absorption right now. Big area right out here. That's probably where the M1 hit over the Indian Ocean. Over Madagascar. Boring. Yeah. Over South Africa. Staying on it. Yeah, it is. The radiation's really zapping. And now we're in the Atlantic. As we get closer to the time we are right now. Boom! There it was. That's the M1. Over the Atlantic. All right. That's what I was thinking. That watch the Atlantic today. Brazil's getting zapparini'd as the radiation continues. Boom! Another one. All right. So we got the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic. Right. So we'll see what's going on today. We'll take we'll watch. Let's go right into, since Denise had to know, She wants to check Uranus. Where's Uranus? On the other side of Jupiter. So it's out there. You can see it if you look at Jupiter in the nighttime. You can see if you have a good telescope. Yeah, just look to Jupiter and look left. Yep. And Mercury, Venus, and Mars are on the, and Sirius, Huamia, and Make are all on the Earth side. On the other side of the sun, every other planet, which is only Uranus, Jupiter, Neptune, Eris, Saturn, and Pluto, on the other side of the sun. Let's see what happens here. We go 12, right? 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, and yeah. February 1st, that's where it all is. We're all on this side, and it's all on that side. But you lose sight of Uranus right around the end of the month, 26th, 27th, and then it disappears on the 29th. Yeah. I don't know why it's all glowed. Uranus is glowing. Get some preparation, H. Anyway, I'm teasing. Yeah, adult humor, baby. What else we have out there? Let's go ahead and look at the tremors. Now, we noticed a few tremors here the last couple of days, and then there's nothing. What a let freaking down here. Let's look at the volcanoes. Let's go to here, Rainier, and let's verify off to the left here. Right. Puyallup River. Uranus disappears. You can always tell where it is. Yeah, there's plenty of noise. Oh, look at that. That's a bunch of noise right there. So they didn't report it. They're not reporting it. Well, all right. 120, 17, the 10th. All right. Let's go back the previous day. Nada. There's a 2.9 earthquake near Mount Rainier. All right. They didn't have any vibrations yesterday. The other 2 days, there's plenty. There's plenty today. What happened? What happened? I don't know. How can one day be? Well, I guess we should look at the COD real quick to see if it's storm related, right? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yesterday was probably the storm that came through. So, oh my gosh. Let's not make more of it than it is. Yeah. Nobody. Oh, my wife put the cat in here and locked him in here. Yeah. All right. Global sectors. Look out the west. Let's check out what's going out far out there. All right. So it appears that those vibrations, yeah, you can see a big storm coming into the Pacific Northwest, moving on east. Yeah. And then more feeding in into Oregon. And the low didn't leave. It just stayed right there, right off the coast of, right in the bay, actually, of Vancouver and Washington there. It just stayed right there. It hit the mountains and said, I ain't going nowhere. And then it wants to redo it, and then it's spinning again, high winds picking up, and then that kind of dissipates as it moves a little bit to the east. Lots of cold air coming in, lots of cold air, loads of wind, and we do have some weather coming all the way down to me, but nothing. It's all gone. Yeah. Let's see. The trough goes all the way down. Yeah, the east got it. Ohio got it. I'll tell you. Look at the big red storms here, and there's the center of it. It should be over, what is that, Ohio now? Moving east. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick over the United States here. There it is right there. That's the big storm producing. Look at this. Wow. So not good to be out in the ocean today, man. I'm going to tell you all that terribly. And it's knocked out all the power out there, even into Canuck land. I wonder if anyone in Twitch has a Milli Vanilli emote. Is that what you want, Patches? You want a Milli Vanilli cowboy? I'll make you one. But if you make your one and you send it to me, I'll put it on there for you. You're definitely a contributor here. Oh, you know. Yeah. Don't worry about it. You can be that. Yeah. All you want, buddy. Yeah, big storms. So those vibrations could have been just the storm. So, hey, whatever. Yeah, we'll come back here and let's look at the volcano seismicity. Let's go down and look at the Three Sisters, see if they're seeing anything. Go off the coast or off the area and see Prince Lake. Well, there is some vibrations down there. Well, of course, they're storm related. Yeah. All right. Let's see. How far south can we go? I guess we'll go down to Crater Lake. Crater Lake, and we'll go right on the island. Right on that little wingy-ding. Wizard Island. Yeah, it's got some noise too. Well, all the storms went that way, dummy. All the way down the coast. Yeah, right into it. All right, well, so the vibrations are suspect. All right, so the vibrations are suspect. But what about the drunk Chinamen out there? Are there any drunk Chinamen out there? Nothing over here on the Bay of Bengal or the Java Trench. Moving up into the Mariana Trench, nothing. And nothing over there by Taiwan, who today, or was it yesterday, he's not a president, he's a dictator. The Dick Chi says Taiwan and China should unite. And Taiwan saying, what? Giving him the little finger. They're the proctologists of China now. We'll see what happens. China's they have to take Taiwan. And before the election happens here in the States. Yeah. Because they know what'll happen. Yeah. Ain't nothing happening on the West Coast. Down over where Enzo happens, nothing. Down in the South, nothing. No, nothing out here in the Caribbean Sea. Yeah, nada. How about over here in the United Kingdom? The Ruskies and, yeah, nothing. Nah. We don't watch up there, All right. Doesn't appear like anything's happening thus far. Power outages. Check out this. Washington's got 17,000 people out of power, near 18. Here's 11,000 out of Oregon. Michigan, 51,000. New York City, 138,000 in New York now without power. And 94,000 in Pennsylvania. Isn't that crazy? Maine has 48,000 people without power, and Vermont 26,000. Now, if you go to the nation's capital, or just near it, Maryland has 17,000 people out. Virginia has 25,000 people in Southern Virginia, or North Carolina, sorry. And it is, Virginia. And North Carolina, 46,000 people out. And South Carolina, 10,000. And Florida, 12,000. That's where the storm went, and it's taking out power for all these people. It's like, well, how do you stay warm when it's freaking snowing outside? Well, we get the generator going. Is that it? You gotta wonder. The East Coast is supposedly, because of Enzo, that's the El Nino deal, supposed to be pretty hectic over the next 4 months. Yeah. The South trending right here, right down the middle. This is where all the power is supposed to get. However, off the coast, there's a persistent, I don't know, it's like the earth is farting and it's keeping a dry air right here. And it's splitting the flow of wind, and it's moving to the north, and that's why there hasn't been this customary snow here in Minnesota and North Dakota and a little bit in Montana. I mean, the cows are getting fatter. They're eating more, Maybe that's the plan? I don't know. But the trade winds are being split by a high pressure that's persistent off the coast in the west, dividing the trade winds way south, and they come up right about through here, right? Southern Texas, and then through the east. And normally in an El Nino, it'll rise up right up here to the Four Corners and through Tennessee and the like. And then there will be late snow here in the north. My boy Clemmer, the Snow King, he needs to work because he wants to work. Yeah, he goes stir crazy if he can't work, because it's what he does, and he needs snow, and it'll happen. It's just a matter of time, and when it does, I think it'll be a dump of snow. When the trade winds change and go with everything. So, on to the volcano news. In the news today, January 10th, 2024. According to Volcano Discovery, the news, Santa Guido, Fuego, Popo, Ibu, Dacono, Marapi, Reventador, and Luatobi, and Simi Ru, of course. Simi Ru popping to 2,000 feet. We'll see. Reventador, 14, that's about a 2,000 pop. Tsuno Zajima, unidentifiable. So the island just south of Japan, main islands anyway. Semenkaya, 19,000 foot, going to 23. It's about 3,500 foot pop. Luatobi, still popping to 14. It's a 9,500 foot mountain down there in the Timor region. Not a whole lot. About 4,000 foot pop. And he got 3 flakes today. What were their names? Yeah, snowflakes. Yeah. Freaking snowflakes. Yeah, bum, 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 bum. Hold on here. Budgie Bird says, we didn't lose power, but there are some New Hampshires that did. We got 4 inches of snow and a lot of rain on top of it. And that might not be a good plan. Red Wagon's in the house. He's still doing well. Marapi erupted to 17. Again, that's a pretty tall mountain. 9,500 foot. So, what the hell? Close. Marapi, right? 95 going to 17. Pretty strong pop. It's been popping since it killed those people. Yeah. Killed 14 people. They were hiking to go see the volcano that's active. Yeah, that's a smart thing to do. Not. Fuego volcano popped to 16. That's as normal. 12,002, 12,003 going 16. Ibu, 7,000. Back to a little bit normal. Have a 40, 46 thereabout. I think it's 46. Yeah, 43. Yep. And Dacono, 10,000 feet. And now it's a little bit shallower. Yeah, 38. So say 3,900 going to 10,000, right? 6,000 foot popper out of Dacono. And maybe 3,500 out of Ibu. And Luatobi, boom, check it out, baby. Flores, Indonesia. Emissions, incandescent lava by fountaining lava flows. And glowing avalanches continues. So it's all pissed off. There was Luatolo that's been pissed off, and now Luatobi pissed off in the Timor region. You don't know where the Timor region is? Let me show you on a USGS map. We'll scroll down over here. This is the Timor region. Look for the hook right here. And I'll put this here on terrain. Here's the hook. Here's Toby. And here's Tolo. Both of these are popping. Right? Here's the Timor right here, right? Yeah. Now we've had, here's the triple junction right here. We've had big quakes happen here. 7.6 here, last year? And several others. We had a 7 quake that happened in the Flores Sea. The Java Sea had a 7 here last year. We've had 3 7s appear south of the Philippines. The recent one, that everybody's, was talking about was right here. And the other one was a 7.6 that was really crazy. Had a small tsunami that came in. Down here, there was a 7 that it was like a 7.1 that they downgraded to like a 6.4 because it had no damage to anybody. Again, USGS does not do magnitudes. All right? No, they don't. And Japan's quake out here that was super damaging right here with a little tsunami as well. So that region around the Philippine plate has just been banging. And down here in the Indonesia, and I guess I don't know what they call it, their maritime continent, right? Malaysia, Indonesia, just been kind of real busy. The Andaman Sea had a little banger up here, 4.5 up at Port Blair, or just 61 kilometers northeast. And then we have another 4.3 off of Favik, Indonesia. 147 depth though, pretty deep. And these volcanoes busy. We have Semiruz right here. Merapi, it's right here. Right? Merapi. I don't Rapi, but Merapi. And we have Merapi, which is, where are the 2 little lakes? Right here. Merapi right there. So it's, volcanoes activated through this area. What does that tell me? Well, what are volcanoes related to? Mainly, right? Well, if we draw it out, right, we have a subduction zone. And we have, right, volcanoes, because the water that gets pushed down here heats up the rock, turns into steam, and breaks this stuff, it melts the rock, turns into magma, and it slowly percolates all the way up, creating a volcano and building the volcano over time until it blows its top with pressure, with gases that rise up from the chemical changes from rock as the steam, the the water that gets turns into steam, right? And that steam gets super hot, cracks the rocks, creates a path of magma that rises to the surface and escapes. And as it rises, it lets loose more gas from what's in. As the magma rises, it turns the rock into magma. And then it turns into lava as it blows its stack up here. That's how volcanoes generally work. So the key to my question was this, the subduction. So in looking at the subduction in this area where we have one volcano and we have Krakatoa, we have 2 volcano, 3 volcano, 4 volcano, 5 volcano, all working right now. This region of the Java Trench, something's happening. Are we saying that we're forecasting an earthquake? No. We're saying that this is activated. This is what's happening. Pushing and squirting up out of the ground. Because this is subducting underneath. We might see something near Easter Island. We may not. It may be on one end or the other end, or it might be in the middle. Who knows? But there's been a big quake here. We only have 1.7 here since 2016. We had 23 from 2000 to 2016 up here in this region. We've only have 1 since 2016. It's locked up, if you can think that, right? But now we have the volcanoes activated. And I think we probably should see a pop of 45,000 to 65,000 out of one of these volcanoes. And right now it seems like Merapi seems to be the likeliest subject that wants to do that. Unless another one like Tobo gets busy all of a sudden. I don't know. But something big's going to happen. And in my mind, when I see a bunch of volcanoes going off, it's letting off the pressure. So the gas is going and it's still doing its thing. But when the land that's diving down is locked up on a hitch, so to speak, it's not smooth. It's not like poop. It's got hitches. It's got peanuts in it. And when it locks up, that peanut breaks, and then you get a big quake. Or it's like something big cracks because it heated up in a big block of something, a block of granite or what have you. And then boom, big earthquake. And then it will rip, And hopefully that rip is not too long because we don't want nobody hurt. Not like what happened up here in Banda Aceh and in Phuket, and what happened at 500,000 people lost their lives around the Bay of Bengal, or 250,000 people. Even over here in Madagascar and Africa, lost their lives. It's terrible. And, it's one of those things, The intimacy is very dangerous. Not only that, but we've seen a ton of activity down here in Chile. But it gets passed over, right? Here's a 5.4 in Chile right now, right? Last 24. 179 depth. Again, what do you see? The Peruvian Chile Trench. Yeah. And we get a lot of quakes happening along the line right here. Why is that? Could it be this? Coming right out of Easter? Who knows? Yep. Okay, so back to the volcanoes. Luwatobi, we talked about. A little bump. There's that hook, right? Sabancaya, down there in Peru, Marapi. Yep, busy, about a 6,000 foot pump. Popo in Mexico, just, saying hello, little 800 foot pump, maybe 900 foot, maybe even less, maybe a 300 foot. 17,008 or so going to 18. So it's a small little. Santa Guido and Guatemala, 12,003 going to 14. And that's it. That's it, what's happening right now. So you can see where the pressures happen around the world. In the news, just whatever's making the news. There's other volcanoes that are busy. You can look at this map here. And these are the red ones are what's erupting, right? We got Shivalush, you got and the other Bezimani, and what is the other one? Right there in the Kuril. And you got the Vanuatu ones here that are pumping, and then you got all these here, Indonesians. We still have a couple of them that are going off in Philippines, and just south of Japan, the southern island, it's Tsunosejima, and yeah, pumping there. In the west, we've got Popo and Fuego and Vieja de la Vieja down there in Costa Rica, I think it is. Then you got Reventador, in Ecuador here. Nevada del Ruiz there in Colombia. Sangay in Ecuador. And then you got Sabancaya. And then down here, we have another in Chile. It's been kind of on and off. And looks like there's one down here in Sandwich Islands. And of course, they don't really talk about them, but there's been plenty of activity up here, the Great Sitkin. And they've been erupting. But, and even in Rick James, that should be red. But is it? I don't know that it's erupting right now, but if there is, if it has erupted in the last week, let me know. Been just too damn busy. So going into the earthquakes in the last 12 hours. Right here, go to here. From the EMSC. 1 hour out. 8 hours out. Here we are, about 12 hours ago. All right. The Andrina Islands up there in the Aleutians had a 4.8. Right? That's up there by the Great Sitkin. Hawaii's popping with a couple of 2s. Central Alaska 2.5. Iceland a 2.8. Greece popping with a 2.6. Costa Rica popped with a 4. Eastern Honshu again 4.2. They're going to bang for a while. Eastern Honshu, there's no doubt. You have a big quake like that, nah. The Norwegian Sea 4.1. That's interesting. Let's look up that one. Maps. Earthquake. Norwegian Sea. Okay. You can see where that is. Iceland's over here. It's up beyond Iceland. Svalbard region. That had a little bump. I'd be looking for something here in the mid-Atlantic or the northern Atlantic, as well as Barents Sea or whatever. Let me see. I'd be looking for something up here. Bering Sea. Maybe even here. Generally speaking, when something happens on this side, we get movement on this side. Because it goes up and around. Apologize. All right, so yeah, Norwegian Sea, that's interesting. Oaxaca 3.8. See, yeah, the chicken leg is not moving too much, huh? A little bit, but not much. At least it's not being reported by anybody. other than the Mexicans. And we can look at that. Well, let's do that. Let's go real quick, see what the Mexicans have to say. Yeah, you can see there's a line of activity, recent activity 4s that are bumping, right along here in a straight line. What's the green ones mean? 2-0. It just happened. That's near my daddy. And my dad's in Puerto Vallarta right now, enjoying a siesta, or a bunch of expats getting together. So a bunch of 4s, little 2s popping around. The 4s are in the south here, coming from Guatemala all the way into Oaxaca, even a little bit into Guerrero maybe. Yeah. No, Guatemala, up into Mexico. So there's some power here along this area. And you can see where I've often said that it appears like Mexico wants to separate itself from Central America right through here. It just seems that's what. Here's the plate boundary that works its way through here. And the Yucatan, it's almost like Veracruz here wants to snap off. And I think maybe it's been sliding faster. I don't know. And faster this way, maybe. Yeah, we'll deal with that when it happens. 3-2 Michoacan, Mexico. That's down south. Baja California got a 3.3, and that's up in here, right? Here's the 3.5, right? Yesterday. A couple up in here. A couple of 3s, right? You have to look at Mexico for these things to happen, because USGS isn't going to report them. 3.5 off the coast, right? Happened yesterday. All this activity happened pretty much yesterday. Because USGS has got Zippo on it, man. Zippo. It's not important enough for them. Because their algorithms just not letting it happen. 3.7 down in Oaxaca. 3.0, 3.5 Gulf of California. All right, 7 hours ago. 3.5. Do you see a 3.5 anywhere? No. And Gulf of California, here's the 3.5. This 3.5, Hermosillo, is connected to Midland, Texas. It's connected to Odessa. It's connected to the Pecos. Connected to the what do they call those mountains there in West Texas? The Rustler Hills. The fault system, I think, it runs right through there. This section. It's been activated for probably 100 years, since 1930s. Because everything changed when there was a big quake down here in Chihuahua. Big quake down here changed the whole dynamics. It used to be, Colorado down through northern Texas into this area. It has shifted since. And the primary activity that I'm seeing comes out of Oklahoma through Midland, Texas, on out to Mexico. All right. Now, the 1887 was the biggest one that was right out here. And that might have changed a lot, too. It just seems that the historical record tends to show all the binging back and forth, bing, bing, like North Texas, Dallas, and the Appalachians banging back and forth, even into Colorado. That's changed to a more central, western kind of pressure that pops off more. And that's just an observation. Whether that's indication of something else happening. Well, we have to see over time. And I'm not going to live that long. Shit. Might live, another 40 years, but, hey, that would be fine to me. I like life. 4.2 Central Peru. That's a pretty good little banger. Bunch of ones, a bunch of 4.2 Oaxacas. Western Australia got a 3.1. Near coast of Honshu, Japan again. Near coast of Honshu, Japan. All the last 5 hours have been banging back over there. Alaska Peninsula got a 4. Fiji comes in at a deep 497, 4.6. Fiji is starting to say, are we starting a new cycle again? I think Fiji's the weak part, and it doesn't start it. I think it finishes it. That it pops out at Fiji, or goes back into the planet at Fiji. That's why it's always deep. As I finish my coffee. 4.2 Kuril Islands. Yep. And we're an hour out. Honshu, Japan 3.5 is the latest. Sulawesi. All right, couple of 2s popping near Sulawesi. Yeah. And the Molucca Sea 2.8 10 minutes ago. Molucca Sea is up there by Halmahera, and Sulawesi's just west of that. So there is some outcropping. It's, for me, I think, in my mind, what goes around the Pacific goes counterclockwise, comes down out of Japan, moves its way out, and goes back into the planet down here. Instead of how somebody supposed that it went this way. I think Fiji is the weakest because it's the deepest, and it's driving down rather than starting it up. It's almost like the effect. You ever watch, these spinners on the wheels back in the 80s and 90s and maybe in the 2000s? It looks like you watch a tire up, you're driving down the road and you look at the guy's tire or a gal's tire, and it looks like it's going backwards when it's actually going forwards. The weakest spot is going to show. And that's kind of what's happening here. It's a counterclockwise rotation. And the center of it is Hawaii. And it may be flowing. See how this bend is here? It may be just proof of a flow. See how it's bend here? How it's bend here? Yeah. Here's another one. Yeah. Kind of flows out. As what's his name said, yeah, it's a tent, and everything's flowing out of it. And if you back the flow up, it all comes back together. I heard an airplane. I know. Yeah, there was a plane that flew overhead. Yes, sir. Good ears there, bud. Glad you still have a power Canuck. Oh, Canuck is back. 9 inches from the storm a few days ago. Wow. Water according. Okay, let's look at the USGF gifts. All West Texas. All right. Yep. Explanation: Pecos River Basin, the alluvial aquifer. That's why we hear some interesting. When the earthquakes happen, we hear some sounds like it's going through water. That's what we're hearing. That's a great image there. Thank you, Patches. I appreciate it. Yeah, do, bud. In this day in history, northeastern China in 1998 had a 5.7. Guatemala in 1998. All right. And north of Fuego, north of what's happening, is 6.6. Yeah. On this day in history. thank you all for being here and listening to the morning report. Again, I'm not seeing, well, deck is down completely. What's happening there? There are other avenues to see what's going on around the world. We'll be around for a better part of the day today. No fly zone until June now. Oh. Wonder why there, bud. Milkman Doom's in the house. Yeah, I want to thank Timmy out there, Susan, the Snow King, Patches, of course. Budgie Birds made it in the house, and 42, my brother. Got to do a game this next season. Probably going to see one down in the Phoenix area, too. I'm going to try and set that up. Maybe we can all get together. You, me, and Ice Cream and his son. That'd be fun, man. Getting all together. And maybe even Dub Diesel down there. You know, he's down there in the area. That would be a nice time. You know, watching a ball game and hanging out. Good morning to Rocket Bob, Comanche 6520, Canuck, of course. Hopefully your power stays on. Maybe we'll do a little rabbit hole tonight. Denise in the UK, thanks for being here, sweetie. Always a pleasure to see you and talk with you and joke with you. You come up with some pretty good ones there. On Facebook, too. We all love them. Double Scoops, always. Ice Cream, you are the best. Love you, brother. Lake Girl, love you. Flutter Girl, love you, of course. Brainstorm Morning, Snarly. Yep, old Snarly. And Kitty Mouse and Liquid Goat. Milkman Doom and Ramblin' Wreck 2718 and Surly Dev. Always a pleasure to hang out with you and spend the mornings with you. It's 9 o'clock here in the West. Mountain time, that is. And I'm in mountain time, like 250 miles from the ocean. Go figure. It doesn't feel like it. It's colder than shit here. I don't know what temperature it is now. Bright and sunny day, but it's been cool. Not as cool as some of y'all who've gotten some really bad weather across the United States. I pray for you to have a better weather and hang in there. We'll get through it together. And if something should happen, I'll jump on and in here. Almost got myself to the point where I can start building the JSL studio. And I can change some things up a little bit. It's going to take a little time, but I've got the garage 70% where I still have to move 20 or so boxes. And when I do, then I'll start building that, and I'll give you reports on that. I'll get pictures for you on how it's coming out, just so you can be abreast. And if you still like to contribute to that, that's great. Just type an exclamation point TIP, or you can locate what is it? Stream Elements /Joe Slick Live /TIP, and you can contribute to that. And thank you for your tips, your subscriptions. And your participation is more fun. I'm going to go ahead and put on, does he have a class today? I think it's on tomorrow. Yesterday's class. And we'll see, not yesterday's, but it's the other day. And my wife always tells me, you don't know what day it is. No, I don't, because I don't care. But it was a good class. I watched it and I go, wow, this was good, with Jim O'Connor 2 days ago. Enjoy. I'm going to get it to the point where he starts talking. You don't need to see the back of his head. There we go. All right. Big hugs. Remember, don't get none on you. And happy hump day.